Kill Bill, I think that's what really put Tarantino on the map, because he did release more before, but like this one what really made.
You compare it to like Pulp Fiction, don't you think that would?
No, you could definitely say that, but I don't like because these people know, but I don't like Pulp Fiction. Hey everyone, I'm James Jump. Welcome to the new show from Big Condo Radio. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe. So anyway, this is Cinema Snaps, the show where I bring on a guest. We talk about the ins and outs of some movies from a favourite director, and we just sit and vibe and chill. So, anyway, the three movies we'll be talking about today are Kill Bill, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and, Reservoir Dogs. So here are my guests, Connor Bailey and Jack Ward. Anyway, nice to have you two on.
Hello.
Hello.
So, well, first off, we're going to be starting with Reservoir Dogs. So, the movie, Tarantino, we all know Tarantino. It's something a lot different from him. It's a shorter movie. It's very, if you can shorter, yeah. If you can compare it to other movies, it's a lot more robust. It's a lot more basic than everything else. Because what did he come off again? Because it wasn't his first movie.
That was his first.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. First feature anyway.
Yeah, because I know he originally he had 30 grand. He was gonna finance it with 30 grand himself, but he got some money raised for it. And that's what started the movie off. But like, if you compare it to some of his later stuff, it's so different. Because
I would disagree. Because it's still, you said it's quite short, but it's still quite slow paced. Like it's not like there's like constant scene changes and stuff. It's more like you still have like really long scenes that can go on for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's too different. It's obviously a lot shorter.
He's finding his feet. He's finding his feet, really, I reckon.
But if we're like comparing it to like the budget of the film, like you're comparing it to like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like Django Unchained, like this is very small.
Yes.
Like it's only in like one location, really, isn't it?
It's like a 2-location movie, and that's when the first time I watched
really
it.
Impressive.
Yeah, and the first time I watched it, it has so much story for such a isolated off area, because the plot of the movie, apparently he took inspiration from Stanley Kubrick for this.
Which one?
I forgot what the movie's called.
Would it be Dr. Strangelove? Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Because that's sort of like a limited location type thing.
I think he's just done it in general. He said he was like, oh yeah, he said something about how Kubrick has been one of his cinematic influences, but in the movie, I just love how they call it, like Mr. Blue, Mr. Red, Mr. That little motif.
Yeah, it got me thinking about that. Like, I've never thought about like why people get nicknames really when they do heists, and obviously that film kind of explains it in quite a cool way.
No, yeah, because like you're put into this thing. You don't know who's who. You don't know who's the actual who snitched.
Yeah.
Who called the cops, and we find who in like a twisted way, from when he's about like the torture scene. That gargles me. Like he goes to pour gas on him, he cuts him, he slashes him, then he just pulls out his gun, bang, 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 bang.
But with like the scene, it's so like stylized, isn't it? With like the music in the background, it's so remembered because of that.
Yeah.
I liked how when he was going to cut his ear off, the camera sort of cuts away, so you can only hear what's happening. I think that makes it a bit more disturbing than just being overly like gratuitous. You
start to see some of his little knacks in it, because he's got his foot thing. We'll get into that later. We've got his foot thing. He's got his over the top violence, his slow pacing. He's starting to get the slow pacing with the massive ending. Do you like the massive conundrum of an ending where like everything either gets shot up, dies, explodes? He starts it off.
It's very similar to Hateful Eight, I think,
in
terms of how it builds up, because it's sort of like that showdown type thing at the end. It feels like a western at times as well.
No, yeah, it's like a modern western, but set in America with about a bank heist and guys in suits.
Yeah, like at the ending where like it's like this Mexican standoff that you can see how he's been influenced by, like just like what film is it, like the
Good, Bad, and Ugly?
Yeah,
Good, Bad, yeah. I mean, there's so many influences in it, and for a first feature film.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant.
Like, as I said before, for a first feature film, it's such. I'm sticking by this. It's drastically different than the rest of his films. I reckon it's too. Like it feels like Tarantino because he's in it. Like you gotta have his cameo. I love this. And in the beginning when they were talking about like a Virgin, by Madonna, I think it was. I think they were talking.
Oh yeah.
That because if you haven't seen that, and you that's the thing. He starts in the middle of something. Like in the middle, like it's the middle of them. They're about to do the heist. They're having a massive 5-minute conversation, rambling on about Madonna's like a virgin, like what it's about, and like how it. I think it's like a virgin. It's like did he just go so in depth for something so minor and minuscule?
From the beginning of this scene, you can tell by the characters straight away, how they behave, how they act to each other, just from like
No,
talking
yeah.
about like tips to a waitress.
Like the dynamic, the entire tip thing. That tip thing's definitely got a massive message to say.
I mean, it tells a lot about the characters, really, because it's the first scene. And I think how each character acts, it's sort of quite interesting. Like with Mr. Pink, for example, how he sticks to his own code. He doesn't want to pay this tip. Sort of how he's willing to go away from like the norm just to stick to his own values.
No, yeah, because I think it was Mr. Pink. He goes on about why should I have to pay? Why should I have to pay them if they're getting paid? He like goes on this massive tangent. It has nothing to do with the movie. That's what like I don't reckon.
Like it builds up the
Yeah,
characters.
it builds
develops them
characters.
just straight away. Like you don't need any context really. You
Like,
just know the characters.
With other movies, they could like jump in like, oh yeah, they're like with narration over it. This is so and so, blah blah blah. This just expects you to know the characters, and I think halfway through the movie, you only find out about some people's names, like Mr. Black or Mr. Blue or something. Like it's new.
Yeah.
You only find out about people halfway through the movie, and it gets pieced together with the storylines. It's non-linear.
Yeah.
It jumps back and forth, and it's like a perfect break between, because we're secluded in this one like scene where like they're in the warehouse, but the little cop scenes they're so short, but they're still a goldmine for content.
Yeah, I thought the camera work was really good as well.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, because the locations are so limited, they have to make it so it's always something happening and always enjoyable. I feel like the constant movement of the camera and stuff like that helped make it feel quick, even when it sometimes wasn't really that quick.
No shot felt the same. I don't reckon. None of the shots felt. Pardon?
What do you mean by that?
Like, for example, in such a limited area, you'd expect every shot to be done. You'd expect
yeah.
everything, but no shot felt the same. For for pacing and everything, editing, that just felt fine.
It's not really like shot, reverse shot every scene.
No, yeah.
It's a lot more unique than that.
It's in depth. It's got everything about it what you like.
Going back to like the budget part, what I was saying, like this is just driven on characters itself compared to like his bigger budget films where you can spend time just looking at the scenery or just like certain useless scenes, if you would say it like that. But well, this scene, most of the scenes are just needed.
Yeah, it's like a Hateful Eight. They have they've got the cherry blossoms playing while they're going through the snow on the horses. That's not needed, but it's beautiful. But I think that's why it's so short, Reservoir Dogs, because all the scenes that are in it are needed. Yeah, I think that explains the timing for it.
I would say that the dialogue I wouldn't say like it's completely tight in terms of how they do the dialogue though, because obviously they're always going on tangents about different stuff that's not really relevant, but it's more to do with like telling you stuff about the characters in like subtle ways.
Yeah, because it's like scenery. You've got to look around. You've got to interpret everything. Really, it's a massive interpretation game of that movie, which like most of his movies are.
I've seen like on the internet and stuff where people think it's like a gay lover film.
Real what?
Yeah. You know, with the Mr. White and Mr. Orange, with their dynamic. But like I think it's more of like a father and son relationship.
I mean, I did get those homo vibes from.
No, didn't you get the like I kind of see where people come from, but like
I don't know where that came from.
Okay, from the internet.
No, to be fair, when I do watch the film, like what's his name, Mr. White and Mr. Orange.
I can see a father-son vibe, but
Yeah.
I cannot see a LGBT romance vibe. That's new to me.
Haven't you actually? Wow.
You threw me there.
It was quite weirdly homoerotic from when I watched it, I think.
No, and come on, for first feature, it was great. Visually perfect, but no, visually perfect. I mean, it's alright in terms of camera.
I thought it was pretty well shot. I mean, it's obviously not like, it's not huge budget, so they can't have like loads of different cameras everywhere, like a huge set or anything. But considering its budget and considering they probably didn't have that many cameras to shoot with, I thought it was pretty well shot.
No, yeah, I think the budget was like $2 million or something, because he did get quite a bit. I mean, not in terms of like massive Hollywood blockbusters, but in terms of someone who was new, he did get quite a bit of filming.
I mean, when you look at it today, though, like even the cast is got like a lot of known actors in it. I think anyway.
So many cast members.
I think they were really good as well. One of the best parts, definitely. Say Tim Roth and Steve Buscemi, especially. They were very good.
If you have a diverse cast, like the cast is so diverse, like half them people, I think half of them were known, half of them weren't. He had like a good mix, and that just adds to the film, because when watching that, you'd know Steve Buscemi, be like, oh, I know Steve Buscemi, and it's just a little nod to the character as well. Like you feel like, oh yeah, I know him, he's cool. But yeah, Tarantino is 10 films. He's got one more left, or two, because
no, it's one. It's one. Yeah.
It's one. Then he's going into screenplay writing. He wants to write plays.
Oh yeah, so he wants to write a novel as well. I think he said.
I mean, you could see the novel. I mean, you could definitely see him write a novel, but do you agree with the statement that he's gonna move on? Like, do you reckon he's actually gonna stick to 10, or will he actually still make some movies?
He might direct, but I doubt it'd be like his own original film, if you get me.
Yeah, I'm on to for that. Like it's not really the screenplay isn't by him. He just needs helping out with directing because he has got a few films where he's done that.
Yeah, like Dusk.
Yeah,
to
but
Dawn.
he hasn't included that in like his 10, which is understandable.
People have been saying he's gonna make a Star Trek film. I don't know how that's gonna go.
That's not gonna work. But moving on, I think we've juiced all we can out of Reservoir Dogs. Kill Bill. We'll talk about the first one a little bit about the second one. Kill Bill. What a movie! An action-packed thrill. Not thriller. An action-packed movie. Action.
Go on.
Action movie. Oh, no way. With an amazing cast. The fight scenes in it. That's what's made Tarantino, I reckon. Kill Bill has been one of the movies where you go, oh, that's Tarantino. We know because of the excessive amount of foot fetish in the beginning and the epic like karate scene like between what's the woman's called again? The one she went against? The bride, yeah.
Wait.
Not the bride.
Who she went against?
Yeah, and then the first one, the Japanese in the tower.
I'm not sure.
But where she had a sword and started slicing everyone's hand off.
Oh, the Crazy 88 battle.
Yeah, that was amazing. That battle. What do you think of that?
Would have been better if it wasn't in black and white.
No, I think the black and white adds to it. It's like a homage to old like samurai movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like an epic. It's like go on.
I love that fight there, Crazy 88, because it just carries on. It's non-stop.
No, yeah.
She doesn't get a rest, and it just adds, and the camera's always moving. There's just even at the beginning with that like the Japanese schoolgirl with like that massive
Yeah,
it's just so sick.
No, but Kill Bill, I think that's what really put Tarantino on the map because he did release more before, but like this one what really made
you compare it to like Pulp Fiction, don't you think that would?
No, you could definitely say that, but I don't because these people know, but I don't like Pulp Fiction. I've never actually been a fan of Pulp Fiction. I can see the appeal. I can see how think of Mia Wallace and all, but I don't like it. It's just.
Yeah, I do think it's quite overrated.
Yeah, it's definitely overrated.
I mean, it's not like the best film of all time, but like it's still like I'd still put it above most of his films. It's quite an achievement in its own right.
A film student calls Pulp Fiction overrated.
What's it called? Like if you're comparing like Pulp Fiction to Kill Bill, like in Kill Bill, I think like every scene's needed, every scene's perfect.
Yeah.
Whereas compared to like Pulp Fiction, some scenes are just not needed. Wow, and like definitely that like the golden watch sequence. I don't like that. I think that's the worst part.
Do you know the beginning of Kill Bill where she goes in and she has this fight scene with someone and a kid comes in? I love that the beginning scene where she's fighting a woman who screwed her over, and it's like proper action packed, and suddenly a child comes in and it's just gone. The action it's gone, but it managed to keeps the tension, which in most films tension will be gone. But Tarantino knows a way how to keep that little bit of tension by maybe like an eye glare or the way it's like paced about editing and all that.
Did you like hear about like how people thought that like a Kill Bill 3 be coming out?
Yeah, it was Zendaya.
Zendaya would be that little kid.
I'm a mixed bag on that.
Like, I would like it, but I wouldn't want that to be his last film.
No, that's the thing. That's why I don't count Kill Bill 2 as a film. As I count Kill Bill 1 and 2 as together. And that's why I think a Kill Bill 3 has got to be like somewhat a continue, or like it's got to somehow be good enough where it makes me go, right, that film was amazing. That just doesn't feel like a cheap grab. But Tarantino doesn't do cheap grabs, and we know that. Because Kill Bill 2, it was worse, but it doesn't feel like a cheap grab. It felt like a continuation of the series of her finally killing the man who robbed her.
I think Kill Bill 2 is one of the worst Tarantino films.
Oh yeah, it's abysmal.
It's not abysmal. It's just like
abysmal.
It's fairly competent, but it's just like I didn't like the way he obviously had some like vision for the story. I just didn't like that vision.
No, I mean the ending. It felt too slow for when she finally met him again. Like I know they would used to be like proper like lovers and all that, but it was like not awkward, but it was like
anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was really anticlimactic. Yeah. You expected. I'm not sure about you, but I expected something massive, like something big to happen on my first time watching Kill Bill. But it just didn't happen.
I mean, it's just weird to end the first film with the battle of the Crazy Eight, and then the second film with just some quiet confrontation. Like, it's quite ambitious, but I don't think it works very well.
I mean, it does work in terms of it's ending the Kill Bill franchise. Could you call it the Kill Bill two-piece saga?
It's just like
it's
it's its own. It's one film, really.
Yeah.
It is one film. But okay, so Kill Bill. I think that's when people always say to me, "Oh yeah, have you seen Tarantino's fetish?" Blah blah blah. That film, it just puts it in your face. Like you could tell he's really trying to make it his own.
Comparing it to like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or stuff, I don't really notice it that much.
True.
No, yeah,
Like
actually,
it ain't like yeah, this might be like low angle shots to it, but like I don't really like puts it in the face.
what's your favorite kill? Like your favorite one? If we ignore the scene at the ending of the Crazy 8 Plaza, what's your favorite scene out of Kill Bill? One, not two.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, what's that one?
That animated scene, I think that's
Oh,
so
Oh,
yeah,
good.
that was great.
That was pretty cool.
Like it's just like flips it and you're just like whoa, and it's just like a Japanese anime.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just,
pretty
like,
cool.
So stuff.
I haven't watched Kill Bill in years, but like I think what I remember from Volume 2, even though I didn't like it that much, I liked the fight in the caravan that involved the
The
iPhone.
caravan fight, yeah, with the snake.
Yeah, I found
was
that quite
cool.
enjoyable.
I think when she's buried alive, that scene, when it's so
Where she
close.
has
Oh,
to
yeah,
do,
that's
like,
great.
The 1-inch punch.
Yeah, yeah, she's like. I think the whole back scene of how she gets her sword is a bit. I don't like it. It's
Yeah.
too slow. It's too slow where I don't care about the characters, but it's not fast enough where I care about the action. There's no like character in the scene. I think Kill Bill is probably one of the worst for character development.
You think?
I think it's one of the worst for
I
character.
think it focused too much on characters. It didn't have.
No.
I hate using the excuse it's not enough action, but when you're following up Kill Bill Volume 1, you're gonna want to
Yeah,
sort
it
of
just
match
feels
that.
like two different films. Like Kill Bill Volume 1's like this proper action. Like it's like I would like if it tried to change genres kinda, but like I would have liked it if it turned into more of like a 60s western with like tension, because that's what I felt with that.
You
like
felt so much tension in that.
what's the guy with the hat?
That's like really.
No, the cowboy hat. One of the people.
His brother, Bill's brother. Yeah, yeah.
Like when I saw him in Kill Bill 1, I thought, oh, this next film's gonna be like a proper western, and I was
Yeah.
hyped for it, but didn't.
I mean, I did like the idea of like Kill Bill 2. The idea's there. Like if you read the screenplay, you read like the synopsis and all that, but it wasn't directed well. Like,
Do you not think?
I mean, shot wise, editing perfect.
Yeah.
Editing is perfect in it. Camera, it's amazing. But I just don't think the way.
I think it's more how it's written, not
Yeah.
how it's directed.
Actually, yes.
I mean, with the directing, I liked in Kill Bill Volume 1 where it was sort of, where they're in the, what was it, like where, the Crazy 88, is it like a restaurant?
Yeah,
Type thing?
it's a restaurant type thing.
I love
the
how
wi-
the camera sort of pans around it to introduce,
Oh,
you know, what,
yeah.
that kind of introduction to it, it's all in one shot.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well
the
done.
tracking scene.
With the crane shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with it,
There's
with, like,
a
this
tracking
song in
scene
the
later on, like
background.
woohoo, yeah,
Yeah, that one, yeah.
That's amazing. That because it's one continuous take where it goes in.
It genuinely confused me how he did it. I thought it was quite surprisingly
It's
well done.
brilliant. It was well done from his end. Like, does anyone know the actual story behind Kill Bill? Like, I didn't know much about how it came about. I need to read more about that because I want to know what inspiration he's got, because you can tell in the first one.
It would be like
Oh.
Kurosawa, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say you can tell in the first one you got Kurosawa and like it's probably like Japanese and all that. But in the second one,
The story is loosely based on in Pulp Fiction, where Mia Wallace is talking about her audition for the pilot she auditioned to. That's
Oh.
what the film's based on loosely. Sort of. It's inspired by that.
I can see it. But yeah, Kill Bill. I think that first one, I loved it.
Yeah, I think the first one's a masterpiece, but
I think the second one, if you look at the trilogy overall, the second one
Trilogy.
brings it down. I mean, the trilogy, the two. If you look at the second one, it brings it down a little bit.
yeah,
Like,
it's
the
just
entire-
like it's so action packed, and it's just like this slow pace, just like dialogue, like he just fills his films up with like just useless dialogue, I think, and it's just so much of that.
She's an iconic character because we don't really catch her name much because it's bleeped out.
Yeah.
That-
Beatrix?
Matrix, yeah.
yeah, 'cause basically you don't know much because it's bleeped, and I never understood the bleeping because you'd be like, oh, my name is Boop, and it's like, is it like not to put a name to the face?
Yeah, I found it quite weird.
I mean, it could have some of the stylistic interpretation what we're not seeing, but it could be just to not put a name to a face to make this badass badass warrior he used to fight with Bill. She's gone now. She's got no personality because that was her personality pretty much, fighting alongside
True.
her. So
what do you think of it as like a feminist film?
It's not a feminist film.
Don't you? Yeah.
It is not a feminist film. Just because he has a female actress, putting a female actress in a movie doesn't make it a feminist movie. Because what's the test called again? There's a test where
Bell trick test.
the bell trick.
I don't know.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, so there's
Where like two female characters.
yeah,
have to
there's
talk.
Bechdel.
the
Bechdel,
Bechdel test. The Bechdel test. It doesn't pass. It doesn't pass the Bechdel test. No.
Doesn't it?
No.
Even at the end with the two women fighting.
No, because it doesn't really.
What do you mean it doesn't pass the Bechdel test?
It doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
It does. What about right at the end where the
In
two
a movie,
women are fighting?
in certain scenes, it can pass the Bechdel test, but as a whole, it doesn't pass it.
It only needs one scene.
I don't reckon it's a feminist movie. Like he's got so many better.
It has aspects of feminism, like how she overcomes like
She
an
overcomes a man,
abusive,
yeah.
like husband, and like
Well, with it being a samurai revenge film, you wouldn't expect a woman to be in the role, and it's
No, you
obviously clearly
definitely
a
expect-
subversion that there's a woman in the main role. So I would consider it a feminist film.
not one of the best. What
But
people say though.
I don't think it's really a big deal.
I
anyway.
don't think it's a feminist film. But moving on from that, because I need some time to think about that. Because you flipped me there, you threw me. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Rick Dalton, the guy, the man. Once Upon a Time, that movie, it didn't do as well critically, but because I think that movie is the most Tarantino. That movie is the most Tarantino-like because he said that this was his passion project. He said this is the one he's put his most love into.
It's very self-indulgent in a good way, anyway.
Yeah. Like the film about the Shannon Tate, about the murders. It doesn't really. It goes against it doesn't go against the massive. It's slow. Okay, it's slow like you'd expect from a Tarantino movie, and the ending. The massive ending, the massive climatic ending. It's a Tarantino staple. I don't reckon it fits the movie
Don't you think?
because he goes out to have an acid rolled joint, comes back in. There's people in there. There's massive fights going on. The dog.
Like about that, like I saw like a video where like how it says Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, this is like a fairy tale, and like beforehand you see Sharon Tate go to like a restaurant where she actually went the night of her murder, and he actually filmed in the same booth as she was actually in on the same night. So it's like, oh, like the audience are like, oh my god, if you know the Sharon Tate story, like I didn't know who Sharon Tate was before,
Yeah.
but after looking into it, you can kind of see how the audience would be like, oh my god, we're going to see Sharon Tate get murdered.
I thought that.
I
But
love.
then they come to the other house.
That's pretty. Because it's an alternate reality, but I love the story of Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton, both the characters. I think that some of the best written in character development wise. Like, he's washed up. Has to go in a spaghetti western. He has to start a spaghetti. I've been a has-been, old buddy. I'm gone. Yeah, so he's a has-been. He's a nobody now, and it just shows the story of a washed-up actor trying to do anything, trying to live again, trying to be worth something in a time where if you weren't good or you were old, like you'd be flung off.
I think it's best if you look at it as like this sort of just laid-back comedy.
Yeah, it is a bit like a laid-back comedy.
Because nothing much happens. It's just characters speaking, but the characters that are speaking are like really funny characters, really interesting characters.
Is it Cliff Booth who goes to the what's it called again, the Manson hole? Yeah. So where that scene, do you know
Spawn Ranch.
Yeah, Spawn Ranch. That's it. He goes there. He's walking to it, and he says, "Can I want to speak to my friend? I used to shoot old westerns here." I'm not. I've asked everyone. I've asked for this. Even though nothing happens and he's alive, the suspense you feel in that scene is unlike what any Tarantino film has ever made me feel, because he holds the suspense on again, and once again he knows how to hold a room. I said before about Kill Bill. Tarantino knows how to hold something, and so when you actually go in the room and you see his friends alive, you feel this wave like go over you, like sink, like you don't know what's going to happen next. Is he going to die?
It makes me very upset, that scene, because like the man's blind, and you kind of see how he's kind of been like
Manipulated?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny though because it's Bruce Dern.
No, but yeah, like it's mad. The whole that scene, and then he fucking he punches.
I think that scene's
guy
hilarious when you
with the
rewatch it.
horse, yeah.
I think it's a very funny scene when you rewatch it because you know it's leading nowhere, but it's just funny how how much these like Manson killers just overreact at everything. I think it's great.
Like if I was gonna say the second time watching that, the senses is gone because it just feels more like a comedy then.
But it's hilarious because it's just these stupid, people just sort of watching him, and he's just like, okay, he's just so confused by it.
Okay, that scene, I think that's one of my favorites.
What about the ending scene?
What about the ending? Well, the ending, I love the ending, and then again, but it's too cliched to say.
Best Tarantino ending, I reckon.
Do you reckon best Tarantino ending?
I love it every time I
That's
watch
why
it.
I think like people think it's like a really good film when they first watched it, because like they come out to cinemas, they're like, oh my god, like an action pack. Like
No, that's the thing, because you've got that action, you've got the adrenaline of the action stuck in you, so you think, oh, that was a really good action movie, but it's not an action movie. It's just a story about two actors with an action ending. I feel like the movie could have ended with no action. It could have, but it shouldn't have. It could have ended. Like, what do you reckon Tarantino's most goriest, bloodiest scene in any of his movies? This is a question for anything now.
it's either like
I think
Kill
Django.
Bill, what's it called, Crazy Eight.
I think
like,
I think Django.
Or like Django, yeah, where he's hiding behind the bodies and there's just
Yeah.
blood. But like that kind of threw me off because you can tell the blood's fake.
No, you can tell it's fake, but it adds to the gimmick of this western where he just goes bang bang. He just explodes. Like, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Connor?
Been thinking, I don't know. I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's quite brutal because you see someone burnt alive. You see someone's head get squashed by a fat telephone. It's
But there's
it's very
Inglorious
awful
Bastards, when the Nazis burn to death,
Hitler.
he's
It's
shooting.
so funny.
Don't got him.
You see, because that's the thing. You can never name just one because there's so much to talk about in terms of action with Tarantino.
True. I mean, in terms of his most like disturbing scene, I have to go for the Gimp scene in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I didn't have a great time watching that, to be honest. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's very gory. Actually, I mean, someone does get killed by a samurai sword or something. But
Like,
I
but
mean-
in like Pulp Fiction as well, like a few scenes beforehand where like that immoral Finn's head gets shot up and like they have to clean the body. That's like where you proper see how you.
that was pretty funny though.
So out of the three Tarantino ones we talked about, I'm going to ask you the three, then I'm going to ask you all time. Out of the three we've talked about, Kill Bill, Hollywood, and Reservoir Dogs, what's his best one? Mine, personally, there is Hollywood, because that just feels the most Tarantino-like. What do you reckon, Jack?
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill?
Is my third favorite.
That's
film,
respectable.
I think.
That's
Not
respectable.
Volume 2, Volume 1.
Yeah, Volume 1.
I
That's,
hate Volume 2.
Connor just agreed with me about Hollywood.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, Hollywood, there's a 5-hour cut.
Oh, I need to see that.
Yeah, no, apparently,
now.
apparently they want to release the 5-hour cut. So
that would be amazing.
if that ever gets released, that'll be cool. You know, it's like speculated what it
A
actually
TV
is.
show would work with those characters, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're just great characters.
Actually, a TV show would work. Like a bounty law, like while he's offset
Yeah,
and all
that'd
that.
be great.
Like set before all the Sharon Tate stuff. Yeah, I'd see that working.
James, what do you think's your least favorite film?
Of Tarantino?
Yeah.
Oh god, that's a mess. Out of the three we've picked, or out of
of
all of them. So, that's the thing. You can never say, "Oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that." I've heard that Jackie Brown's bad. I haven't seen Jackie Brown. It's the only
What's
Tarantino.
your
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that. I know that's meant to be. Oh god, that Kill Bill 2. Kill Bill 2. Yeah, I forgot that existed. Kill Bill 2. It's not his best, but I think my favorite Tarantino movie. We didn't actually talk about it today. I'm sorry I didn't suggest it. Was Inglorious Bastards. Inglorious Bastards. That movie. What's a bear
It's
Jew?
probably one of his like best made.
Yeah.
I just find it very repetitive. Certain scenes.
I think he.
There are a lot of scenes that are great, though, in terms of how
Yeah.
they craft the tension and stuff.
right
Especially
at the
that
beginning.
the bar fight, the
Tarant-
bar scene. Yeah.
So, we know Tarantino knows how to do everything. We know everything about him now. These have been some film breakdowns. We've talked about some of the best of his films. Before we go, do you two have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say?
Chef.
Chef.
Yeah, probably Chef.
Yeah, it's a good film. I got it on Blu-ray. It's pretty good.
Okay, I've been James Jump. Thank you for watching Cinema Snaps. I'll see you next week for the next episode.